Black Talk Radio Network is made possible in part with help from the Black Talk Media Project, a North Carolina-based nonprofit engaged in the production and distribution of independent digital black media. Find out more by going to blacktalkradionetwork.com or blacktalkmediaproject.org and look for the menu tab, Crowdfunding Black Media. Black Talk Media Project, helping to provide you with new black media for the new millennium. And opinions expressed by callers, guests, and hosts do not necessarily reflect those of the Black Talk Radio Network and Black Talk Media Project. Black Talk Radio is new black media for the new millennium.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Blacks in Business Radio here on Black Talk Radio Network, where we would love to have you join us every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where you're allowed to call in and talk to us, myself, Brother Robert, and our guests. Sunday, we talked to a guest. Her name is Miss Velda Bell of House of Velda, and we're bringing this broadcast to you right now, so we're going to get into it. Brother Robert, are you there?
I am here, SiSi. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Perfect. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to listen to a review that is on the House of Velda website and get familiar with Miss Velda Bell. So here we go.
I've been using the House of Velda natural deodorant for a while now, and I cannot express how much I love this product. I use organic in my day-to-day life, so I eat organic food, I use makeup that is natural, and I thought it just makes sense to use a deodorant that isn't full of toxic chemicals and isn't putting these nasty things into my bloodstream. So I chose to go with Velda, and I've loved it because I was skeptical at the start as to whether it would compare to conventional deodorant, but it does. It absolutely does, and the smells are beautiful. My favourite would have to be the orange burst, but I also keep a lavender in my bag as well. So if you're looking for something that's natural, that isn't going to put nasty, aluminium, chemicals, toxic substances into your bloodstream, I would definitely recommend checking out this product. There's no animal testing, and they use things like beautiful coconut oil. They use natural smells of herbs, fruits, and it's just an amazing company. Definitely check them out.
All right, that was a review from the website of House of Velda Natural Deodorants. And we started using the House of Velda Natural Deodorants last year because I met the representatives at the Dudley Gala, and they had those deodorants, and they were selling like hotcakes. I mean, they sold out, I believe. Like the young lady said on the video, wonderful smells, no reaction. I'm allergic to everything, and I could use this deodorant. So I'm telling you, it is the greatest thing. Also, when you go with natural deodorants, a lot of times you still notice that it's wearing off or you have a smell. I've experienced many deodorants, natural deodorants, I should say, that didn't last me throughout the day. That is not the case with House of Velda. I'm left feeling clean, and the scent that I choose is lavender, but I smell like lavender all day. And I don't have to reapply or anything like that. So I'm very, very happy to say that we support this line of deodorants. So what we're going to do now is, Brother Robert, introduce Miss Velda Bell. Velda, are you there?
I am. Greetings, Sister SiSi and Brother Robert. Happy to be on Blackston Business Radio, and want to say greetings to everyone listening.
Oh, thank you so much. So, Ms. Velda, let us know about you and how you got started creating a deodorant product.
Well, sister, I'm going to tell you, my story is really, really simple. I always knew that I wanted to do something for myself. I kind of always knew that in the back of my mind. But one day, I stayed home from work. I was working. I stayed home from work, and I was looking at a television show, and it talked about, getting away from all these chemicals and how just things right around your house you can use, and just natural products. And so they talked about the benefits of baking soda and things like that. And I remember how my mom told me that they used to put just pure baking soda under their arm. Then I started researching from that point on and realized that I created this deodorant, natural deodorant, right in my kitchen. Right after that, watching that show, I got right up and whipped up some ingredients, and it was first started out like a cream, and I just couldn't believe it worked. Then I gave a little bit to my mom. I said, Mom, this thing works. It works all day. And after that, I created a focus group and started giving it out to about 50 or 60 people and getting their critiques, and realized after a while that I had something that could benefit, a lot more people. And that's how the House of Velda really got started. And when I told this, there's a woman in my city that has a natural shop, and I went to her shop, and I kept saying, I created this right in my house. And she said, why are you trivializing that? I was like, this was in my kitchen, in my house. And I started calling it the House of Velda, and it's kind of how it got its start.
Wow, that's amazing, because when you say House of Velda, you think of some fashion house. It's like, wow, and then your name, Velda, is just such a big name. I mean, it's quite impressive. And although you feel the story is little, no, it's quite big, because when you think of all of the ideas that don't go forth, I think Les Brown says the richest place is the graveyard. I don't think he made the quote, but he says that because all of those ideas that have died with people because they weren't able to put them down on paper even. They weren't able to get them out of their mind, get them into production so the rest of us could enjoy them. So to actually go forth with what you have done is quite the accomplishment, especially in the natural realm of things. Robert, what do you think about that?
Well, I'm the entrepreneur cheerleader, if you would say, if that's the best way I can say it anyway. I am the entrepreneur cheerleader. Anybody that's inventing products or just gung-ho about doing anything for themselves, I am 100% in your corner. I'm cheering for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm volunteering to help. And the product, I've used it myself. I love the way it smells. It's a phenomenal product. I'm recommending while people are listening, buy this product. You won't be dissatisfied. You'll totally love it. And, sister, I salute you because, yes, to take something from just an idea or something sparked your mind, a commercial, sparked your mind, you went in your kitchen, you immediately whipped it up and just started, the process of experimenting with it, and now this product is available for purchase. That's a great accomplishment. I go back, I always say this to people that do things like that. You utilize one of the attributes of God, which is called creator. And that's the most satisfying feeling for any entrepreneur or inventor, to actually take something that was an ideal in your mind and make it manifest in the physical realm. That's a major accomplishment. I salute you.
Thank you. And I also want to add, too, the other driving force was I'm a cancer survivor, and I wanted to, I was looking for ways to reduce the chemicals in my everyday life. As a woman, I know we can ingest or induce or absorb over 1,000 chemicals just by what we put in our hair. I looked at the tube of some chapstick, and it was over 22 ingredients in that little bitty chapstick. So think about all the things we adorn ourselves with, the lotions, the hairsprays, the toothpastes. And I just started little by little, trying to be as natural as I can and just reducing the toxic chemicals. So in earnest, also, that was just one of the driving instances, because I knew that I wanted to get something, to reduce the chemicals. In the back of my deodorant, I didn't even count how many chemicals. I just threw it away and never went back to it.
Wow.
Oh, that's important. And as people become more health conscious because of, like you said, the cancer, it is important for them to have products that they can immediately segue into. It is so disturbing when you have a diagnosis and you get this epiphany like, oh, my goodness, I got to get rid of all my food and all these toxic things around me, but you have no idea where to go. Now, one first thinks Whole Foods, but I have to tell everybody, new people who are trying to segue out of the toxic, Whole Foods is not everything that you think it is. I go there, but you still have to read. You still have to search for those harmful chemicals, those harmful ingredients that still may not be good for you. We have this idea that we can just simply jump from one thing to the next and be healthy. And that's from having the mindset of, I can just go to the grocery store. You should have never been going to the grocery store and just buying things, because your government, your grocery store, does not have your best interest at heart. They're thinking about the dollar. So when you are suddenly hit with this disease or whatever it is that they're trying to diagnose you as, and you're trying to go to something that's going to be better for you, definitely check out the House of Velda. Now, I had a crazy situation my own self, with my mom. She was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and so that's when the epiphany hit me. I had already started on the path of wanting to be healthier, but what does that look like? That looks like you eating a little bit better and talking about cheat days, or, okay, I deserve this today because I did so well. No, that's not really a healthy lifestyle. A healthy lifestyle is turning your back on all of these things that you know and are learning to be toxic and moving forward. And back to my mom, I got rid of everything. I mean, just lotion. I used to love Gold Bond. Gold Bond lotion was the end all for me. I used to love that stuff because it was so thick, and I'm like the ashiest person in the world. So using Gold Bond was perfect for me. But that was one of the first things to go. The deodorant, that was another thing. Now, I had jumped around to different deodorants because, again, I hadn't really found anything that worked. So when I found the House of Velda, I was so excited, and I began telling everybody about it, and I just knew that I needed to talk to this lady and find out, oh, my goodness,
wow.
what got you started with this product? And so I've been talking to Miss Velda off and on for about a year now, and so I'm just so excited to, again, finally have you on the program and allow people to talk to you and find out what your journey has been. So now with the deodorant, where can people get them? Like if they are interested in purchasing but the product is not in their area, or if they have a store and they want to purchase wholesale, what should they do, Ms. Velda?
Well, one of the things that I do is I encourage people to go to my Facebook, the House of Velda, and also so they can see where I am in the city. I'm going to be in Baltimore in the next couple of weeks or so, but I do a lot of outdoor festivals and participate in a lot of conferences. Also, the best way to purchase is online. They could go to my website, www.thehouseofvelda.com. Also, we do wholesale. Anyone could contact me on my website, and we could talk about how the wholesale process works. But one of the things I want to just go back to about reading the labels, one of the things that that people do like about my product, it is just 3 ingredients: baking soda, coconut oil, and arrowroot powder. Just 3 basic ingredients, but we do use essential oils. But when you go on a lot of those other natural deodorants, you still have like 15 or 16 other things. And so the most amazing thing about this product is it just has baking soda, coconut oil, and arrowroot powder. And I am determined, to stick to those basic ingredients. I know that I really don't know how it works, but sometimes on a larger scale you have to add other stuff so that it has a shelf life of 5 years or whatever. But I really like the fact that there are only 3 ingredients, and people could go right to my website. And I have just been blessed. I'm housed out of North Carolina, but I thought about it. If I had a brick front, most of my clients, very few of my clients come from this area. Customers come from this area. And so I just thought about that, how blessed it is just to be on the website, and how so many people, that's how they buy. They don't even think about leaving their house. They just go on the website, click, and the product is to them within 3 to 4 days of ordering it. So it's an awesome, it has taken me by a storm. I'm just amazed. People that want to sell it and people that are buying it. And I look sometimes and say, oh my goodness, I never could have, imagined that New York City or the state of Washington or all the folk that I've encountered just through selling this product, and how people are really appreciative. And I thought about it, everybody can make everything, but it is special for those people that dedicate their time and want to provide that service for people that, just aren't able to do it.
That is such a blessing. Like you said, people being able to purchase from around the country. Now, have you serviced anyone from other countries?
Well, I tried that, but the product never gets to them. And so I've got to figure out how it stops in customs. I never get the product back. They say they've never received it. So I've just got to figure that out. That piece I hadn't figured out. After I lost so many products, unless I'm going to, now I did have a client in Saudi Arabia, but what they did is they purchased and then they kind of handled the shipping over there. But for me, shipping individually, I just have to really get to, how to really get that done successfully, because any international product that I've mailed on my own, it just doesn't really get there. I guess it gets stuck in customs or, so.
We'll have to help you research that, because that's a little disheartening that people from other countries are not really able to experience this deodorant.
Right.
Now,
and they express a desire to do so.
Yes, we definitely have to do some research. We need to talk to our people who are of foreign descent and find out how we can make that happen, or the embassy or somebody. We'll definitely do that. Now, speaking of shipping and moving around and this type of thing with the deodorant, now what about temperature? We're thinking about if it's does it need to be in a cool place? Is it going to melt? How does this work?
So it is a natural product. And as long as it is not in the sun or in heated, anything over 80 degrees for an extended amount of time, you don't have to worry about it actually melting.
Okay, that's very good to know.
If it does get soft, we tell our customers to place it in the refrigerator for 15 minutes or so that it stiffens back up.
Okay. Now, if you are thinking that something may go on like that, let's say if you don't always have your AC on and you live somewhere that's very warm, would you recommend that they just go ahead and keep it in the refrigerator?
No, I don't. I like it because I keep my place in the summertime kind of warm. You know, I don't keep it cool. I keep it kind of warm. And so with the tube, you just don't roll it up very far. You just keep it down, and it's always nice and soft, and it just goes on nicely.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know.
If you're like my sister who can't stand anything, you better keep it in the refrigerator so it's nice and hard every time you rub it. Different strokes for different folks, but it's good to have that information. Robert, do you have any specific wholesale questions for Ms. Velda?
Yes. So, what does the wholesale side of it look like? Minimum quantities, unit prices.
One of the things that I try to do is I try to give everyone an opportunity to experience the product. And so I don't have these big requirements about minimums. I really don't. As long as there's a minimum of about 12 or 14, but most people are minimum of 24. But, I just want it to get in the hands of people, and usually we work things out. So I don't have a lot of strict rules with the minimums on selling it. All we wanted to do is to get into the hands of people and do some good for some people.
And how many different fragrances do you have?
I have 7. I have 7. There's a cool mint. There is a frankincense and myrrh, and a lot of the men wear the frankincense, and a lot of the women too, because one of the things that I found out is when I go to the shows, there are a lot more people that are more knowledgeable about oils than I am. One of the things that persons I brought on board is an aromatherapist, and that's who kind of got my scents together. And so if you know a lot about oils, they have healing properties as well. So we selected some oils that were nice, and so a lot of the people now I'm selling out of the frankincense and myrrh. And one of my customers says that she rubs it on the bottom of her feet at night, the deodorant.
Wow.
Yep, she rubs it under the bottom of her feet at night. And then I do have a couple clients that are models that they do use it under their feet so their feet don't sweat. But so we have the frankincense and myrrh. We have the lemongrass. We have the cool mint. We have an orange burst. A lot of the younger people use the orange burst, the lavender, sandalwood, and a nice unscented. So those are the fragrances that we currently have. And they all sell equally.
Okay, and you also have minis also. I saw online.
You have the minis. I get a lot of people because it's an online business. When I first started out, oh my goodness, the people that wanted samples, and and I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And I start selling the small minis, and so people will typically get a couple of them, and then decide what scent they want, because it is difficult to. People blend oils differently, and the woman that blended my oils for me initially is just an awesome, awesome woman, and she has a wonderful shop, and she has a gift, and so her scents, the way she blends is, a lot different, and so somebody else's frankincense may smell a little different from mine, but we do use pure, authentic oils, no fragrance oils. So that's one of the things that I refuse to do is use fragrance oils. I use all essential oils. And so
wonderful.
My other question is, in terms of price breakdown in quantity type of orders, because like somebody like me, I'm always looking for what do I have to buy to get the absolute cheapest price? If I have to buy 20 dozens or 100 dozens, because there may be somebody listening to this and may want to, have this type of information going forward based off of SiSi's word, my word. And so is there a price breakdown in terms of based on quantity, the quantity that a person purchased?
Yeah, there is. Usually the more you purchase, the less it is per item. So that's sort of the way it is. We the basic wholesale now is that the wholesale price is $5, and then most people sell them for the price that we sell them for, $10. Some sell them for $14, and the more you get, the less you have to pay per unit.
Okay, so. Give me an idea of what that number look like if you have that available. Like just say I wanna get down to, if it's possible, $3 or $3.50 or whatever. What quantity would that look like?
Wow. Okay, I don't have all the numbers on that, but I know that there is one price break after 100. There is another price break, and it goes down. I don't have those figures in front of me. I need to get with the accountant on that. But I know that after there is 100, there is another price break.
Because I'm definitely interested in investing in the product myself. Me and SiSi are always looking for products to add to our store. Now, the other thing, Ms. Velda, I wanted to ask you about, have you done any major trade show events?
I had planned to do one this summer in Baltimore, and this was going to be my first. This is my third year out, and I just kind of wanted to take it slow and not to get out there. I want to make sure that I get it in the hands of thousands of customers, and then look at the trade shows. One of the prerequisites of the trade shows I just learned about. I've got an obstacle to cover, but that's the next thing I'm going to do is start working with the trade shows.
You said you had an obstacle. What was the obstacle?
Well, a couple of obstacles with doing major trade shows. It has to do with how the product is distributed. Okay.
There are some trade shows. I always suggest, when I talked about trade shows, definitely for the retailer aspect, I always tell retailers to go look up trade shows in Las Vegas, because it's so economically affordable for us as retailers to go to Las Vegas and stay there. Hotels are cheaper. Everything is cheaper in Las Vegas. On top of everything being cheaper, Las Vegas is the only city throughout the whole planet Earth that hosts the most trade shows, because of the fact that it's cheaper for any airplane to land at the airports in Las Vegas, by being the tourist capital of the world. So they build these large, extremely large convention centers and hotels to host trade shows. No other place is like Las Vegas when it comes to that. So I want to suggest, if you haven't already, look up the industry that you're in and tag trade shows with it, whatever the industry would be, essential oils trade show or whatever, health, organic
natural
trade
products.
show, but
It's natural products, I believe.
What did you say it was?
Natural products.
Got you. And looked at natural product trade show in Las Vegas, and I guarantee you, I'm not a gambling man, but I'm 100% sure that they have that trade show in Las Vegas would be probably the biggest one in your industry.
Okay.
And there's quite a few trade shows that you probably wouldn't even know about that could really benefit your business as well. We go to one that's a general merchandise trade show. It's called the ASD Trade Show. You can rent a booth there. I know one guy he did it for about $3,000, rented a booth there for 3 days, and he was on our show as well. He heard it. He heard us talk about it on the show. When we went to the trade show, he was at the trade show, and I saw him. He said, "You Robert Earl?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Man, I heard this on your show. I got the information, followed up, and now I'm here." And he said he had made mention to us that was one of the best investments that he made at the show. And if you saw his booth, you knew this guy was someone who maybe didn't perhaps have a lot of money, but he invested what he had in himself. He got out there and he told me, he said that was the best investment that he made. You have a product that definitely, for $3,000, it may not even take $3,000, but let's just say it was $3,000. That would be great exposure for your product, and because you're dealing with, in these trade shows that I attend, you're not only dealing with manufacturers and wholesalers that are interested in buying your product and selling your product, but then you have companies that are there for to aid and assist the manufacturers in the process of getting the product to market. Okay, so you may have a labeling company, you may have a bottling company, you may have an overseas company that actually translate for you or ship for you. All of those type of companies are at these type of trade shows, and that's why it's just so important, even if you don't put your product there, to just go and actually you can go on a website. And now we can help you in that process, because a lot of times if you've never been to the major trade shows, most people don't even know what trade shows are. So it's not just something that will just automatically make sense to a person. Now, sometimes people confuse trade shows with these events that are held in these different cities that's open to the public.
Right.
Trade shows are not open to the public. They're only open to retailers and wholesalers.
That's right.
Yeah, so definitely, sister, if we can help you in that area or anything like that, because we believe in your product, we love your product, and, we want to make sure we can do all we can do to help you to succeed in the process of, becoming very wealthy with this product. So if we can help you, we're wide open to doing that.
Well, that's great. That's one of the things, because when I was looking into that trade show and I saw that it had to be, I forget the language, but it had to be manufactured by or distributed. There was something, and I said, okay, I got to do that. Then I started calling some manufacturing companies to try to see what, if anything, could be done. But definitely interested in all of the trade shows. I will look up the ASD trade show and look up the ones that are in Las Vegas. Because trade shows are my next. I've done all of the ones that are open to the public, and I knew that this year was probably going to be my last year of doing those. I've kind of gone all over Baltimore, New York, D.C., Chicago. I've been to all of those little places where they have these big events, and that's helped me too. Right. With getting the product out there.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That's definitely good for product recognition and sales.
Yes.
Yeah, but
it's trying to go to the next level.
Right. Yeah, and so with that being said, a lot of people, like Robert's talking about, don't really know about trade shows, but the actual creator of the product is not always there. They sometimes have vendors, or brand ambassadors, I should say. Just as long as you put everything together in a decent amount of time so you're not scrambling, I think that that's something that you could definitely look into. And, we might be able to represent you at the trade shows because we definitely go. So we can entertain that later, most definitely, because like Robert said, we would like to help you be on the largest scale possible with this wonderful product. So let's segue into a little bit. We don't want to keep you all day, but I wanted to also talk about what else you have going on in your background. You are going for your master's right now, am I correct?
Yes. I'm currently an assistant principal, and I am in the process of getting my license to become a principal in the school systems.
That is so important. That is so important. I mean, I'm blown away. I mean, you are an everythingpreneur. I mean, you're going to be a principal and you have this great product. And I'm thinking on a different scale. Now, since you have access to all these children, I'm wondering, do you have plans on teaching them how to invent a product?
So that is one of the things that I've been working with this charter school on. Having classes with some of the girls and, teaching them how to become, and I do speak with the middle school girls regularly about just how an everyday dream or everyday thought can become $1 million product. I mean, when you look at the 3M people, the people that do the little stickies. I mean, can you imagine everybody in the world has a sticky?
Yes, I just bought some yesterday.
Yeah, yes. Everybody has them. And so until we get really laser focused, and I'm telling you, just, doing my product has opened my eyes about the possibility. I mean, things that I never thought about. And so I do thank God, because it's nothing but the work of God, because I don't know anything. I mean, I'm an educator. I mean, it was just, deodorant. I didn't know nothing about any deodorant, but it has just taken its place. I mean, it has just gone on, and it's because just really been obedient to the call and just being focused and knowing that you can't ever give up. You can just do anything.
Mm-hmm. That's most definitely true. Now, when you say you can do anything, I know that you've had some hurdles with the product itself. I mean, I don't know the hurdles, but I'm pretty sure you have. Now, for people who are having trouble even knowing what to do, where would you say that they should start? If I have this idea in my head, where should they start?
So I'm going to tell you what has guided me. I was listening to Steve Harvey one day, and he said, if you want to do something, you don't have to have all of the answers. Just do what you know how to do. If all you know how to do is make a business card, make a business card. If all you know how to do is mix up the mix the mix up. And everything else will come. And that's kind of how I've been. I didn't try to look and see, like, where it's going to go. I just did what I knew how to do. And everything else I found out just started coming together. I mean, it started coming together, the packaging, and because the first thing I did is I did what I knew how to do. I ran in the kitchen and made the mix-up. I didn't think about anything else. And I started doing all the aspects that I know how to do. And because I've worked for other people kind of all my life, this has been liberating to me. It's been liberating to me. Here I can create something, and I can determine how far it can go. There's no limits to what I could do if I, put my mind to it and, get my resources together, get the investors, and get out there, and so there's nothing holding me back. And so the way I tell people to start, just do what it is you know how to do. If all you know how to do is pick up the phone and call somebody and say, look, I got this idea. Do you know anyone that can help me? So I go with that mantra. Just do whatever you know how to do. Just start. Ask questions, research. I spend a lot of time researching. I have focus groups put together, and and I take advice from anybody. I listen to everyone. I mean, I'm telling you, people are giving me all kinds of ideas. I've heard great ideas. People, I had a brother that came to me, and he said that he wanted to do, like Girl Scout cookies, go door to door, get orders, come back. I mean, and so, so I listen. Nothing is off limits to me. And so when you're trying to start an idea, just listen. Just listen to people, and don't be afraid to take advice. Don't be afraid to change something that has not worked. Don't be afraid to admit that this is not really working. This has to change. And so, I haven't been afraid to do that. I listen. And everybody says I listen too much. But I do. I listen. People tell me things all the time about product, what I should do. I always listen. I'm very humble. I can learn from anyone. From anyone.
Wow. That's biblical, because he tells us to be like a child when it's time to learn. So you're obviously doing that. And he obviously is dropping more than just nuggets on you. He's giving you a whole pathway to wealth. And I'll say wealth because you're able to pass this down to your next generations.
That's right. And I have my next generation working with me, too.
Oh, that's powerful. Now, how old is this next generation?
So I have some nieces and I have great nieces. So my nieces are maybe they're 30 or 28 years old, and then I have someone as small as 6 years old. I have her doing something. She comes over and she counts. I just have her doing something just to stay in the area of it. She knows she's helping me to make deodorant. Even she's just counting and putting it and stacking it. She's doing something.
That is excellent. Robert, what do you think about that?
Well, you got to get the youth involved. Hold on. I always say you got to get the youth involved in entrepreneurship. That's big. That's huge. That's the future, and they need to know the process of actually taking a product from your mind and actually putting it to work from your mind to the marketplace. So no, that's huge.
And they always give me. I'm older, so they always give me things to do and things to say. Auntie, you should do this. You should do that. And I'll examine it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And
wow.
Yeah, they do. My younger nieces, I'm telling you, if it were not for bouncing things off of them and, and they give me a lot. They invest in me that kind of way. They're always critiquing. And, I called my niece up the other day and I said, listen, I need to get more reviews on my webpage. And she was like, you got to give them something. You got to offer. You have to offer something. I was like, okay. She said, give them a discount or something. And so we're working on trying to get coupons out, and so those are some of the things that I get from them. And when I go to some shows, my nephew, he'll say, Auntie, you got to give them a T-shirt, but they got to, what did he say? You got to like, share, and whatever. Yeah. And so, because of that, I have over, 5,000 or so contacts on my Facebook friends, and I got that just for this event, just by, listening to what other people are telling me to do, and so it's awesome.
Wow. So now, do you feel that the younger generation is really grasping, or are they just doing it because they have to? You feel like they're really taking note of what needs to be done here?
Well, I do. Not the 6-year-old, but the others are. They really are, because I tell them that one day that, I'm hoping that this is something they can take over, where they'll be sitting in the boardrooms watching stuff happen, not rolling up your sleeves, lifting up boxes, taking them to the post office, and, those kinds of things. And so
right. Okay, well, that's powerful. For them to understand it right now is very powerful, because so many times people want their children or the next generation to be involved, and they really are not getting it. And I think a lot of times it just kind of, I don't want to use the word spoiled, but spoiled. So they kind of feel privileged, like they really don't have to be involved, and these things are just going to be handed over to them. And, they're just living this life of privilege. So I think if people can get away from that, just make sure that you are implementing the information correctly for the children, and don't bring them up, so they feel so privileged and spoiled. they can carry this into the next generation and build wealth. What do you think about that, Ms. Velda?
Right, and I show them the benefits of it every day. Because of the business, there are several things that I'm able to write off, and they see that, and so they like that, and that's an area that they haven't been able to, take advantage of. So they're seeing it work with me, and they're being inspired. I mean, I did a last show, and they were like, we got to find us something to do, invent. Oh, we got to do, because they just realized that if you get out there and work hard and sell hard, that, you really can reap the benefits of that.
Now, that is so important. I really appreciate what you are doing. And, again, I can't emphasize enough, we are looking so forward to supporting you, all that you need to do. If you just even in your brain think, oh, my goodness, I need somebody to, whatever that blank space is, just give us a call. Reach out to us, give us a call, because we are so excited. And I talked to you before about the Liberated Minds Expo. We'll talk offline about that a little bit later, but we don't want to hold you up all day long. Is there anything that you wish to share with our listening audience beyond what we've spoken about so far?
We've covered a lot and shared a lot, and I just want to thank you all for, but I know it's nothing but God, because I don't know you, never met you. You bought my product, and you've seen people sell my product. But this is how God works. It really is how God works. And, when God is in it, all you have to do is follow the path, and I know the path is going to lead to greatness. I do thank you and Brother Robert for this opportunity. Can't even believe it that, well, actually I can, because that's how God works. I do thank you all for this radio, Blacks in Business Radio, and I thank you all for just having the wherewithal to even reach out to me and want to expose my product like that. It's just been awesome, and I do thank you, and I thank your listening audience today, and advise them that, as soon as you can, to get off of those products with a lot of chemicals, the better you will be. You could go to my website, www.thehouseofvelda, VELDA.com, and purchase any of the 7 cents. We'll be glad to service you. And, again, thank you.
Okay, and for those that are not so internet savvy or still scared of the www for whatever reason, is there a phone number that they can call?
I get that, too. I had a 97-year-old woman. She said, well, listen, I don't put my information on the computer, and I want to send you a check.
Oh.
I said, Mother, you can send me a check any day you want to. It was just awesome. So, yes, 919 919-642-3806, and we do take orders on the line. So we do appreciate it if an agent doesn't pick up the phone, because we try to keep staff kind of to a minimum here. We will return the call, within 8 hours. And so we do appreciate any calls and hits we get on our website.
Okay, well, Ms. Velda Bell of the House of Velda Deodorants, I'm telling you, that grandiose title just makes me feel so privileged to be involved with this product, and I am so excited. Brother Robert, any last words for Ms. Velda Bell?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that. Sister, I can hear it and feel it in your spirit that success is definitely in your future with this product. Success is there. You have a great spirit about entrepreneurship and about the blessing that you have. And I know, as you said, God is all in it. There's no doubt about it, because sometimes a lot of us that are entrepreneurs, we sometimes do it just for the money. A lot of us just get into this business, this entrepreneurship, just for the money. But then there's that few that really knows that they're being blessed. They develop something that can help people or maybe inform people or whatever they're doing, they know that it has been given to them. It is a blessing to them, and I can hear that your enthusiasm. I can hear it in your voice. I can feel your presence of enthusiasm through this phone. So I really personally believe that your product is going to do well. Not only is it a good product, but now after talking to you, you have a great spirit that we're going to make sure we do all we can do to help you win with these things. And we definitely want to get it in our store.
Yeah, awesome.
And one more thing quickly. We need to make sure that the listeners know, because they're going to buy the product, the listeners know that you like reviews. So how do they go about getting a review out there?
So it's just really easy after they have used the product and, they want to share their experience. All they need to do is go on Google. I mean, they have several sites. I mean, they're on Yelp or wherever, but, I want my Google sites to increase because most people kind of Google the product. And so you can just Google the House of Velda, and then just click enter a review. And I think that you have to have Gmail to do it, an account. So I think that may be some of the issues. But, I want to get those reviews out there and get people on those reviews. A lot of people leave reviews on my website because that's kind of easy. You go in and you hit a review. But you have to know about me to get that review. I'm looking for, when you Google, you can see, reviews. When you just Google like a natural deodorant or the House of Velda, opposed to just knowing about my site. But all the reviews are wonderful, and that is what I want my customers to do. Once you like it, just put your experience on the website, because my niece told me, before I buy anything, I Google it.
Exactly.
She says, before I buy anything, if it's a pen, I Google it.
That's
right.
I'm
just getting that. I'm in the process of getting a company to help me with all of that too. So.
Okay. Well, let me know if you need that help, because I am a virtual assistant. Let me plug myself. But we're going to definitely let you continue on with your Sunday. Enjoy, Miss Velda. We look to talk to you really soon, okay? And have a blessed
Love you both.
Rest of the week. Love you back, okay?
All right. Peace.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone. That was Miss Velda Bell of the House of Velda. I am so excited to have been in contact with her because it's kind of been a back and forth with she and I. And it's not really hard to nail her down, but I think it's kind of hard to nail me down. And it was so simple for me to just get this interview with her, but it finally came to pass, so I'm excited. We here on BIB love to support Black entrepreneurship. These ideas that you have, you need to get them down on paper. You need to not make the graveyard any richer. If we can help you with that, definitely reach out. You can reach us at weareblacksinbusiness@gmail.com. weareblacksinbusiness@gmail.com. If you're interested in getting into multi-level marketing of some sort, we learned that multi-level marketing is not all bad. We have to really look into that. It's gotten such a bad rap, but your everyday life is dealing with multi-level marketing. We'll talk about that on another show. But we just want to get you in business. We just want to get you started. We just want you to get those ideas down on paper. Get motivated today. That slave ship that you're working on, that man that's telling you what to do all the time on that job, those people who are gossiping, that should motivate you to get those ideas down on paper. You have it down in you. You are melanated people. You are the first people of this world. So I know that you have it down in you. If we can help you in any way, definitely reach out to us. Robert, what do you think about that?
Hey, man, I feel like, just sent a chill down my spine, sister. I'm going to call you sister right now.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much.
You spoke truth. We definitely have it in us, people. We are from the Creator, direct descendants of the Creator. We have it in us. He put it in us. And all you have to do is just take a moment, just relax your mind, get all the everyday crap out of the way, just push all that out the way, out of your mental way, and just think on what could I do for myself. And really, just to give you a little tip on the starters, your house, just look at everything in your house. Every product, towel, toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, mouthwash, cologne, dresser, sheets. Look at all the products around you. Somebody invented that. Now, you can either A, invent something, or B, sell what's already invented.
Right.
And the most practical stuff is what people need every day. You can do something for yourself. Trust and believe.
That's right. You got to start somewhere, and we suggest that you reach out to us so we can help you do that. We are blacksinbusiness@gmail.com. Well, we've got to go on a break right now, so please support blacktalkmediaproject.org and tune into blacktalkradionetwork.com every day for all of the latest and greatest in black radio and entertainment. Join us here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on BIB Radio, which stands for Blacks in Business Radio. We also have a Facebook page called BIB Radio. Please join us there so you can be updated on all that we are doing in the business world. All right, we've got to take a commercial break right now, but we'll be back for the second and last half of the show, Blacks in Business Radio. Thank you very much. We'll see you again in a second.
The Black Talk Radio Network is made possible in part with help from the Black Talk Media Project, a North Carolina-based nonprofit engaged in the production and distribution of independent digital black media. Find out more by going to blacktalkradionetwork.com or blacktalkmediaproject.org and look for the menu tab, Crowdfunding Black Media. Black Talk Media Project, helping to provide you with new black media for the new millennium. You are tuned in to Black Talk Radio, new black media for the new millennium.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us again for the second hour of Blacks in Business Radio, better known as BIB Radio. Our first hour was talking to Miss Velda Bell of the House of Velda. You can go to her website, houseofvelda.com, and order those wonderful deodorants that we were talking about before. I'm telling you, me, myself, I've been into the natural groove of things for about 4 years now. And that is probably the only deodorant that I know didn't allow me to still be funky. Because, you know, we get funky sometimes. Even with a good diet, sometimes you still get a little stinky. But those deodorants are wonderful. My favorite is the lavender. My next order, I think I'm going to order the frankincense and myrrh. Anyway, so order from House of Velda. Support a black business, okay? All right, so we are going to close that one off. You know, today is June 29th, 2017. Thank you for joining us here on this wonderful radio network, blacktalkradionetwork.com. Please support blacktalkmediaproject.org so that we can continue bringing you such wonderful programming and support what we have going on here. So what I want to do is a couple things. I want to start bringing news into our situation. I think we started doing that before, but like today I found this story. There's a story talking about Whole Foods and Amazon merging, something like that. I don't have that story in front of me, but for instance, those kind of things that deal with business, not necessarily all black business, but business that may affect your life and my life. You know, I have to shop at Whole Foods sometimes, so that's going to affect me. I shop on Amazon sometimes, so that's going to affect me. So we want to bring those kind of stories to you. So we have to make sure that we carve out enough time in our program to do that. But the story that I want to talk about right now is, I just got it a little while ago. It says, Florida woman killed hours after posting about, quote, making six figures. Okay? So this story is not funny. Apparently, this woman came from poverty, because it says, a Florida woman proudly recalled on Facebook how she went from being homeless to, quote, making six figures, end quote, just hours before she was shot to death early Thursday. Makiva Jenkins was fatally shot at her home in upscale Lake Worth after writing on social media that, I'm in awe of how far I've come. Jenkins, who was 33 years old, wrote in the post late Wednesday night that we overcame being homeless in 2013 and 2014 to reaching my six-figure mark in 2015. Let's see. Now we're going to read more. And now making multi-six figures. No matter what the road looked like, I followed my heart and stuck with it, growing my business, she wrote. I'm saying this to say anyone can do it. It takes determination and consistency. Then they have a nice picture of Miss Makiva Jenkins. Let's see. And that was her last post on Facebook, it says. A masked suspect had knocked on her door just after 2 a.m. I wouldn't be answering my door at 2 a.m. Thursday, according to the Palm Beach County Sheriff Office. Jenkins was shot following an altercation, and the suspect fled in the family's car. He even took her car. Jenkins, the mother of 3 children, later died from her wounds, according to the Palm Beach Post. Regretfully, the news reports are true, a friend of the family member posted on her Facebook page on Thursday. The family of Makiva Jenkins asked that their privacy be respected at this most trying time. And then, of course, they have the pictures of screenshots, I should say, of conversations. But y'all don't need to be posting the come up. You really don't need to do that. We talk about different things and how to make money and this and that, but there's a way to do that. You cannot be bragging on these social media sites. It's just not safe, because there's always somebody looking to see you slipping. I think Scotty has a comment.
Yes, SiSi. Greetings to you. Good evening.
Greetings to you also.
That's very, very sad, but I'm with you 100%. We have to be careful about what we post on social media. I have an associate. I'm not going to call him a friend because, we really don't talk that much, but we've done business in the past. A couple of years ago, we did some business, so we're friendly, but he puts himself out there as a business mogul, and he has several successful businesses. So I seen him on post a picture of this wad of cash that he was holding, and he post a lot of, how can I say, his material things. And I'm saying to myself, brother, you need to be careful about what you posting on Facebook, because Facebook makes you use your real name. They already know what you look like, and you could be setting yourself up for a robbery. So I definitely feel you in you telling the audience, be careful about what you post on Facebook.
Absolutely. And, I know that comes from us not having anything. It's not necessarily that you want to brag. Sometimes you do want to brag. You came from nothing and now you're coming into something. Hey, you want everybody to know. But in this day and time, people are desperate. They're losing jobs. They're on many different substances. We see all kind of stories like that all the time. I can't even run down the drug situation, but I know that music and drugs, just whatever, all kind of things. And people are just, into some criminal activity. So if you're posting that you're making all this money, you are a sitting duck. You might as well just say, here, come get me, because that just that's not acceptable. It just is not acceptable. Now, this young lady has unfortunately lost her life, and I'm pretty sure she didn't, have money that long, so she didn't even get to enjoy her money that long. So that's a tragedy right there. So again, what we'll do is try to remember to post relevant, newsworthy stories for you entrepreneurs. But that one is very important, okay? So make sure that you are not bragging on social media about your six-figure income. I don't care if you made $500. You really don't need to brag about it, okay? So, yeah, we're going to close that one off. Now, the next few minutes, what we're going to do is, now we had Mr. Jimmy Davies on our show several times, and he's created the Every Black platform. And there's so many different Every Blacks now. When we first dealt with him, it was just everyblackevent.com. Now there's so many of them. I mean, he's really grown the business, and I'm very proud of what he's doing. So what he did recently was he created a video, and it's called Anatomy of a Black Economic Movement. And we're going to play that for you all so that you can hear what he's doing, because I want you to support the movement, honestly. We'll talk about that more later, but go ahead and take a listen to what he's talking about, and we'll even share it in our Facebook page so you can hear it later. Okay, Scotty.
This video is an anatomy of what I believe to be a black economic movement taking place. First, we will look at the current financial circumstances of Black America, then the what, how, and when to implement a solution. This is our dilemma. More than 1 in 4 Black Americans live in poverty. The Black unemployment rate is typically double that of whites. Racial gaps in household income persist. The income gap is held fairly steady for the past 40 years. The home ownership rates for blacks is just 43% compared to 72% for whites. Whites have significantly higher levels of wealth than blacks. Earning a college degree hasn't protected us from falling behind.
Dig deep into America's $17 trillion economy, and you'll find fractures beneath the surface. The spoils are split unevenly between men and women, old and young, high school dropouts, and MBAs. But one of the most divisive disparities is only skin deep. This is the economy in black and white. Everything you own, houses, stocks, cars, that's your wealth. In 2011, the wealth of the median white household was over $110,000. African Americans on average, 17 times less, just over $6,000. And housing has a lot to do with it. For the average American, their home is the most valuable part of their portfolio. It's an investment that can appreciate with time, and it can be passed from one generation to the next. But the rate of homeownership among whites is 28% higher than that of blacks, and the lingering effects of segregation could be to blame. Discriminatory practices by the Federal Housing Administration prevented African Americans from buying houses in many suburban neighborhoods. The Fair Housing Act of 1968 sought to level the playing field. But by then, African Americans were entering a housing market that had already seen massive appreciation. Meanwhile, white families had seen their housing investment soar in value during their head start. Fast forward to the 21st century, minority groups were again victims of housing exploitation, this time by big banks. Bank of America and Wells Fargo, among others, were compelled to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in fines and restitution for pushing minorities into exploitative subprime mortgages and charging them higher rates and fees. This contributed to the fact that blacks and Hispanics lost nearly a quarter of their wealth between 2004 and 2010. Whites lost just 1% during that same period. So the American economy houses two realities, one black, one white. The divide between them, a measure of inequality.
With higher poverty and unemployment rates, an historically consistent income gap, and a growing wealth gap, many blacks are skeptical that the country will eventually make the changes necessary for racial equality.
The United States is often called the Great Melting Pot, but it's a country that's struggled with race relations throughout its history, and still does today. A 2015 CNN and Kaiser Family Foundation poll found about half of Americans think racism is a big problem, one that doesn't seem to be getting better. 2/3 said racial tensions in the United States had increased over the last decade. More than half of blacks said they had experienced some form of racial discrimination in their lifetimes, from being denied a job to fearing for their lives. About 1/3 of whites and Hispanics reported similar experiences. Blacks and Hispanics were also far more likely than whites to say that they had been unfairly treated in the last month in a public place, such as a restaurant or in a store, because of their race. Segregation is still a reality as well, at work and at home. 60% of whites said their work colleagues were all or mostly white, and close to 70% of whites said either their social circle or their neighborhood was mostly white. When asked if certain factors, like discrimination, a lack of educational opportunities, and broken families, played a major role in the social and economic problems facing their communities, the majority of blacks and Hispanics said yes. But even so, there is optimism. A majority of blacks and Hispanics aged 18 to 34 say it's easier for them to achieve the American dream than it was for their parents. Only 31% of young white adults said the same.
Despite all of this, most blacks are optimistic about the future, which leads us to a solution. This is a timeline from the year 1600 to the year 2017. The first slaves were brought to this country in 1619, and slavery was not abolished until 1864. Another 100 years saw legalized segregation until the civil rights movements of the 1960s. There's no wonder that we find ourselves in the financial dilemma that we are in today. Martin Delany was an abolitionist, journalist, physician, and writer. He was a graduate of Harvard Medical School and served in the Civil War. He also worked alongside Frederick Douglass to publish the North Star. He believed that black liberation depended upon entrepreneurial success. Booker T. Washington believed that African Americans should concentrate all of their energies on industrial education and the accumulation of wealth. He founded the National Negro Business League, whose mission was to promote the commercial and financial development of the Negro. The organization grew rapidly with over 600 chapters in 34 states by 1915. Annie Malone was a businesswoman, inventor, philanthropist, and known for the development of the mail-order process for beauty care products. Through her Poro College, she employed nearly 200 people in St. Louis, and by the 1920s, she had become a multimillionaire. She ensured that her employees, all African American, were paid well and given opportunities for advancement. Sarah Breedlove, better known as Madam C.J. Walker, was an African American entrepreneur, philanthropist, and political and social activist. She was eulogized as the first female self-made millionaire in America. Walker showed other black women how to budget, build their own businesses, and encouraged them to become financially independent. Marcus Garvey was unique in advancing a pan-African philosophy to inspire a global mass movement and economic empowerment focusing on Africa, known as Garveyism. Vernon Johns was an American minister and pioneer in the civil rights movement. His highly controversial and outspoken sermons on race relations and economics were ahead of his time. He was the pastor of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church from 1947 to 52 and was succeeded by Martin Luther King Jr. A movie was later made about his life, starring James Earl Jones.
Now, we're not going back to that restaurant, are we?
No. Brother Hill, what do you see?
I see a grocery store. What do you see?
I see a whole mess of Negro dollars going into white pockets. Now look at that. They'll take our money, but they despise us so much, they will not touch our hands in the exchange. Money is power, Brother Hill.
You ain't lying.
Then why are we turning over our power to people who despise us?
But But Dr. John, the members of our congregation are professional people. They're not business-oriented.
Yeah, and that's our biggest mistake. Right now, we are only consumers. If we're only consumers, we're parasites. Do you want a definition of perpetual motion? Give the average Negro a Cadillac and tell him to park it on some land that he owns. If gold was discovered in the hottest regions of hell, the whites would be there within a fortnight, mining it for all its wealth. The coloreds would show up 3 weeks later, offering their services as maids and butlers. The thing to do is to get there first, but we don't think that way. Just to show you what can be done on a small parcel of land, I grew these at the parsonage. I left the roots and the tops on to prove they are not store-bought. The Bible tells us that a feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. Now, what does that mean? It means that whoever controls the money has all the answers. You get control of the money by producing. Negroes need to own more businesses, and Negroes need to patronize those businesses. By the way, I noticed that some of you were staring at my feet this morning because I had neglected to wear shoestrings. Well, I'll start wearing them when Negro folks start producing them.
Dr. George Frazier of FrazierNet and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam say it best.
I've been to South Africa, East Africa, West Africa, North Africa, all over the Caribbean, and all over this country, speaking 120 times a year for the past 20 years. And I can tell you that there are no black people in the entire world doing better than we are. In fact, if the truth be known, we are the beacon of hope for every single person of African descent in the entire world. We need a third and final moral imperative and moral assignment. I said third. The first two, in case you forgot, was freedom, a 250-year fight for freedom, where 10 generations of our ancestors fought and died for our freedom. They chartered a good and righteous course, stayed that course, and we were freed in 1864, and we don't have to spend 1 minute of our lives fighting for our freedom. That was the first moral imperative and moral assignment from my perspective. The second was civil rights, voting rights, and public access from 1864 to 1964, 4 generations, 100 years. So we were unified around those ideas, if you will. We've learned that in a market-based economy, in a democratic capitalistic society, the only color that really matters is green. So the next movement must be, the next unifying purpose must be economic development, wealth creation, the closing of the income and wealth gap. And to do that, we must more wisely manage the $753 billion annual economy. And 2, we must become an entrepreneurial culture. We must create work and jobs for our people, because that is the only way to raise up the poor. That's what we must do. And we must do that by using networking, strategic alliances, joint ventures, partnerships as our infrastructure to build the kind of partnerships, the kind of love, the collaboration, collectiveness that is necessary. Finally, let me say this real plain, so just so you don't get this confused. God ain't giving us anything else. We have freedom, civil rights, voting rights, and public access, a $723 billion annual economy, $5 trillion of intellectual capital, 9 million of us are doing okay. We ain't getting nothing else. So until we learn how to come together, work with and through each other, because that's the final thing God wants us to learn, until we learn how to connect the dots, leverage our collective resources and intellectual capital, when we learn that, we will be a force to be reckoned with, and don't you believe for 1 minute that others do not understand that.
Right. We are now in 2010. And what is the cry? Jobs and justice. Well, wait a minute. How long are you going to sit around
It's pretty clear that the solution to our dilemma is capitalism. We must become entrepreneurs. So how do we do it? S.B. Fuller was an American entrepreneur and the first African-American male millionaire. He started with $25 and created 9 corporations, grossing over $18 million a year. Along the way, he also mentored many others, such as John H. Johnson of Johnson Publishing, George Johnson, founder of Johnson Products, and Dr. Joel Dudley Sr. of Dudley Q Products. Joe Dudley started with only $10 and created multiple corporations grossing over $35 million a year. He also promised S.B. Fuller to continue to help anyone that wanted to become a successful entrepreneur. Fuller and Dudley philosophies of self-help and door-to-door sales are proven entrepreneurial methods that anyone can use to become successful. Now that we know what needs to be done, and we have examples of how to do it, let's look at previous events in history to tell us when.
We've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
TV and radio made it possible for events of the civil rights movement to be seen and heard quickly around the world. The advent of the internet made it possible for Barack Obama to raise the money to become President of the United States.
It was whispered by slaves and abolitionists as they blazed a trail towards freedom through the darkest of nights. Yes, we can. It was sung by immigrants as they struck out from distant shores and pioneers who pushed westward against an unforgiving wilderness. Yes, we can. It was the call of workers who organized, women who reached for the ballot, a president who chose the moon as our new frontier, and a king who took us to the mountaintop and pointed the way to the promised land. Yes, we can to justice and equality.
Yeah, I'm willing to work hard.
It doesn't matter who you are, or where you come from, or what you look like, or where you love. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white, or Hispanic or Asian, or Native American, or young or old, or rich or poor, able, disabled, gay or straight. You can make it here in America if you're willing to try. I believe we can seize this future together, because we are not as divided as our politics suggest. We're not as cynical as the pundits believe. We are greater than the sum of our individual ambitions, and we remain more than a collection of red states and blue states. We are and forever will be the United States of America. And together, with your help and God's grace, we will continue our journey forward and remind the world just why it is that we live in the greatest nation on earth. Thank you, America. God bless you.
Considering the parts that technology played in the civil rights movement and the election of Barack Obama, it's no surprise that there were a lot of advancements in communication leading up to the Civil War. One indication that an economic movement is taking place is that thousands of people are opening new accounts in black-owned banks. Another indication is that economic empowerment symposiums are being conducted to promote entrepreneurship. The numbers of websites promoting Buy Black has exploded in recent years. The explosive growth of the internet has made this phenomenon global. Advancements in technology have enhanced communication like never before. A message of capitalism with proven methods of success and enhanced communication like never before are the foundations of a Black economic movement. In short, collaboration plus coordination and communication equals power. And it's all happening now.
All right, everyone, welcome back. We were listening to that video created by Mr. Jimmy Davies. I talked to him a couple of days ago, I think yesterday, about the video. He was very proud of it. I watched like a little snippet of it, but I knew I was going to play it because I am actually promoting his Every Black brand, because it is definitely something that you want to be a part of if you are a business owner. We're going to talk about the video, but first let me tell you that my code is SiSi if you decide to join. And he has every Black author, every Black politician, every Black educator, every Black professional, every Black entrepreneur, every Black researcher, every Black event, which is the original, every Black returning citizen, that one deals with people who are coming out of incarceration, every Black library.com, every Black speaker, and every Black nonprofit. And I'm sure he's building more and more every Black. That's why he purchased the every Black, so that he can just kind of add on as he wants to. But I see it being something great. And if you all wouldn't mind, please support again. Go to every Black. And when you go join, click on join, and then you can just put SiSi in there, and it's SiSi. All right, so we'll talk for a second, but I know that we're going to need to go to commercial in a couple minutes here. But in the video, it was informative. You know, we heard from people like George Frazier. We heard from Minister Louis Farrakhan, and lots of great information, like about Madam C.J. Walker. But what we didn't hear is we didn't hear the fact that slavery is still going on. Slavery has not been abolished, and there are many people that continue on with this information, or this false information, I should say. And I'm just not really sure why that is. I know that they have heard it, and I know that they know it, and I know that they have seen that we are still being incarcerated in huge, massive numbers. So, I mean, I don't understand why people are still saying that. Maybe Jimmy will do a remix version. We'll talk to him about that and see. Because I don't know how often he's planning on producing these videos, but I think it's a good thing to add to the website. Another video that is on the website was the Business Mannequin Challenge. I thought that was quite interesting and entertaining. You know, you don't have to agree with everything, but we do need to be clear on facts. You know, the fact is Black people are still being incarcerated in mass numbers. Bank of America and Wells Fargo have a huge hand in that. I mean, we have many shows on this network that talk about those things because they all just work together. I mean, my program is definitely connected to David's program because of information. My program is connected to Scotty's program because of information. And all the other programs on here, we're all connected because we are all affected by these things that happen to us. And a big part of this is that incarceration. A big part of this is that slavery, because it is slavery, and we have to call it what it is. It's still going on. It's not pretty. You can't fluff it up. You can't push it to the side because it affects all of us. Now, some people don't think that it affects them until it does, you know. And unfortunately, I could have been one of those people. But my son had to go to prison about 2 years ago, and he'll be getting out next month. So, you know, but before that happened, I was pretty in tune to what was going on because I was definitely with Black Talk Radio Network. But, you know, because of our mindsets, you know, we really don't want to deal with certain issues. We just really don't want to, but we have to. So what we're going to do right now is go to break. You are listening to Blacks in Business Radio, and we'll be back after these messages. Join us again in a second.
Black Talk Radio, your choice for digital black radio. New black media for the new millennium.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Blacks in Business Radio. And we are going into the last half hour. And Scotty, did you have something that you wanted to add about that video? Because I know you're really passionate about this subject.
Yes, and thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts on it. And people, please don't take this the wrong way, but this is something that's been on my mind this week, and I've actually been posting on social media about it. And when we coming up with solutions, if those solutions are based on incorrect information, then our solutions are not going to be effective or not going to be as effective because we're leaving variables out that belong in the equation. And like, for example, we hear this often repeated phrase that black people in the United States have $1 trillion in spending power, right? Well, how much of that $1 trillion are we spending on services connected to modern day slavery and human trafficking? Whether that's paying fines because of driving while black, then paying court costs, and then paying attorney fees trying to stay out of modern day slavery. And then once we're in there, a tremendous amount of our collective wealth is taken from the family so that they can try to lessen the pain of their loved ones who are enslaved. And that's putting money on their books so that they can purchase real food from the canteens and the exorbitant rates we are charged just to use the telephone to talk to them. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And like, you know, he mentioned the discrimination factor when he mentioned Wells Fargo and Bank of America pushing black people into predatory loans. Well, also, Bank of America and Wells Fargo are huge investors in private prison slavery, private prison companies. So I'm just saying that it's a whole lot of us who are not acknowledging that slavery did not end in 1865, and we're not acknowledging, because we're not acknowledging that this is slavery, we're just leaving out a very important variable in the problem, and it's going to have an effect on any solutions we come up with. Does that make sense to you, SiSi?
Oh, absolutely. It makes sense to me because, again, you know, we are so fragmented as people. You know, you have people who are knowing the information but not willing to show it or share it, I should say. Then you have people that share the information and then they're looked upon as like troublemakers or something like that, or they're fighting against the grain. And, you know, you look like you're this over here when you try to mention that information. But it's not false information. This is true documented, scholarly article, whatever you want to say. This is information that we all know it's going on. But until it touches your house, it's like people really don't want to deal with it. That's the ugly side of being black, you know. But you can't look at it that way. We have to give correct information. Like Scotty was saying, how do we come up with solutions off of fake or false information? You can't. You absolutely cannot. Like, for instance, with Jimmy's company, every black returning citizen. Again, that's close to me because, you know, my son went to prison and he's only 21 years old. He had 2 birthdays in there. Not good for me. It's really sad. But if we're looking at him as really the problem and the system not being the problem, then we're going to continuously have a problem. Because we know that the system is predatory. The system is biased against us. But if you're looking at this black man coming out of prison like he just is the enemy of the state because he got caught up in whatever he got caught up in as a result of what these people over here are doing, then we can't move forward. We just can't do it. So we have to have a proper mindset about what the real problem is. The real problem is slavery has not ended, and it's continuing in mass amounts.
And SiSi, the last thing I want to share is that entrepreneurship might be all that these people coming out of modern slavery may have as a real option. And they have to be included in this because we know once you get that felony slave status, how that closes doors. And entrepreneurialism, it may be the only thing that can save them.
Absolutely, and they have to be groomed for that. I mean, if you're talking to your family member that is in prison, if you're writing letters, start putting that bug in their ear because even in prison, they're still setting them up to fail when they come out. You know, that they're making them feel hopeless. I don't care what kind of programs you see on TV and it looks nice or whatever. No, it's prison, okay? So stop it with whatever mindset is that you're in. And really, you need to start looking for things for your loved one to do. Like me, I mean, my son's kind of strong-willed, which is fine because I'm glad that wasn't broken out of him, really, because that's helpful for him. It's going to be helpful for him as he comes out. But I was like, oh, okay, well, what about doing this? No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to be a flagger. Well, he got a certificate to be a flagger, but I'm still talking to him about things that he can do for himself. Because how many people are coming out of there trying to be a flagger? I mean, I don't know if they have a bunch of flagger jobs. I don't know. But what he wants to do is something in real estate. So I have to keep putting that information out there for him. Here, this is what I know about. This is what I found. You don't necessarily have to be an agent to be in real estate. He wants to be one that builds homes and all this. That's great. So go ahead and capitalize on that for your loved one. Find out whatever information you can. Go print some copies off of some literature, send it to them. But you know what? They need this. If they don't have us as a safety net when they get out, then, I mean, my goodness, the recidivism rate is so high. We definitely don't want that going on. And we know that the system is set up for them to go right back in. So let's make sure that we plan for our loved ones when we come out. Like I said, my son, he spent 2 birthdays in there. Not a happy thing for me. But I'm happy that he's going to come out, and, you know, I'm just believing that he's going to be able to do what he needs to do to still have a successful life. Because prison, I don't care what kind of prison you went to, camp, whatever, it's still prison, people. So get the fluffiness out of your head and recognize that these people who are our loved ones need our help. And we can help them by telling the truth. The truth is slavery is still alive and well, okay? So stop thinking that it ended. It did not end. Stop saying that it ended. Okay, so we're going to end that one there. Now, what I want to do in the last few minutes that we have, I wanted to recognize entrepreneurs on Facebook because I posted something on here earlier, and I told people that if they posted in this page here, we would definitely give them a shout out. And my goodness, people I have never heard of are like coming out of the woodwork. It's amazing. So, so I have here Miss Ashley Richardson. She says, get hired. I'm an independent recruiting contractor, and her email address is gethired@yahoo.com. Then we have Keisha. Miss Keisha, she's from St. Louis, but now she's in New York. Now she's in Atlanta, I'm sorry. Her website is www.D as in David, ULC as in cat, E, culture.com. www.dulceculture.com. She does all kind of African fashions, those beautiful, colorful skirts that you see women wearing. She has some authentic ones. I see some cheap ones, but no, hers are beautiful. She had a wonderful booth here in the flea market, but she was able to get her money together and move to Atlanta, and she likes it. So go ahead, Keisha. Then we have another person here from St. Louis, and his name is Kevin Griffin. Griffin Construction and Home Remodeling, LLC. And he said, you see me, and I don't know what that means, but yeah, I do see him on Facebook. Then we have, Sharon Blake, and she has a publishing company. She's in Washington State. So you go, Sharon. That's wonderful. If you all need publishing, definitely check into Life Chronicles Publishing. Okay? I see that she has some blog activity going on, too. So that's great. Let's see. And then we have Mr. Gary. Hey, Gary. Gary is in Texas, and he is a, Dream Tree professional. Dream Tree is a water company where they help you with, cleansing your water, ionizing your water, and filtering. That's the word, filtering. He helps you with filtering your water. So you could join him. Dream Tree. Well, he didn't give me information. He just sent me Dream Tree. So you can contact Gary Collins, and his phone number is 404-735-5932 if you want to start your own water filtering company through Dream Tree. He also has a website, www.dreamtreefamily.com. And then you're going to /GP as in Paul Collins, GP Collins. So check that out at the Dream Tree. Then we have Miss Ebony Queen Carlisa Bowden. She's out of St. Louis, too. She's a St. Louis real estate guru. So if you need anything in real estate, definitely reach out to her. Her Facebook name is Ebony Queen Carlisa Bowden, Bowden. Then we have Mr. Kenneth Bennett. Now, I know him personally. He's here in St. Louis. He actually is a biochemist, but he's a real estate agent. So I don't know how those two intermix or marry, but I mean, that's what he does. I think that's cool. He's a biochemist. I keep trying to think of scientific things that I want for him to figure out for me or whatever. But I mean, I guess that's probably not going to happen because I'm not really scientific like that. But his thing is called, or his business, I should say, is called Think Legacy Real Estate Investments, LLC. You can reach him at 314-292-9686. Think Legacy Real Investments at gmail.com is his email address. Okay. Then we have, if they don't have like clear information, I really can't do anything. We have Erica Foxy Mama Parker. She says super dope, naturalistic, everyday foxy-ish. This is radio, so I don't know. Okay, then we have Adonis O. Alexander. He's at www.diversityclothingco.com. His company is called diversityclothingco.com. We got Champ Boogie. Okay, I'm not really sure what that is, but www.lovelycreations4u.com. lovelycreations4u.com. And let's see here. Deanna Shell. She's got the Black Network. Let's click on that and see what happens. The Black Network. Let's see. She's got www.newblacknetwork.com, and it says that it's a TV network. And let's see. She says on here, all we need is just a few minutes of your time. And then she's got like a whole little media thing. I'm going to have to check into that later. But, we want to get to everybody. So
Tiana, there you go. Let's see here. We have got, let's go to the bottom here. Of course, we have Blacks in Business Radio. That's us. We're here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Black Talk Radio Network. Black Talk Radio Network airs every day, 24/7. Enjoyable information that you will love. So tune in here. That's us. Okay. Then we have, Miss Jackie. She's been on our show. Jackie Vernon Thompson. She has From the Inside Out. And that is an etiquette company, and it is wonderful. I'm actually going to have her mentor on the show pretty soon. I just have to nail her down because she's very busy. Let's see. And that's going to actually be another stream of income that we introduce to you all, etiquette training and classes, because I had such a wonderful conversation with her mentor. I can't even think of her name right now off the top of my head, but she was wonderful. She just showed me how implementing etiquette into our community is much more than just sitting down at the table. We were talking about how, we could get things together, like with our children, how we've got these sagging pants, and she went into the whole thing about how that came about. And we just had probably a 45-minute conversation. I was so excited she called me. So we'll introduce her pretty soon. Let's see here. Somebody says, thank you, SiSi Harry. My company is Rep Intelligence Clothing, and the website is repintelligence.net. Okay, so it's a clothing line. Scooby-Doo. Let's see, check out his pics. If you need a photographer. Okay, he's a photographer. It says worth.1000.words on Instagram. Okay, Scooby. Let's see. Then we got love2boogie.com. He's a fitness instructor. Let's see. Yep, that's what it looks like. He's a fitness instructor. We got H.L. Young, Lifeline help needed nationwide, must pass background check. I'm not really sure what that is. His phone number is 901-410-7465. We have David Robinson. I know him. He is at networkkings.website. So network and then the word kings.website. Okay, and we have somebody from the Power Networking Conference. This is, what's her name? Avalora Coaching. So this is Avalora. She has a website doing head wraps, and she's also a coach. So you can find her by typing in Google, Crown by Avalora. So that's spelled Avalaura. I don't know if it's Ava or Ava. I did meet her, but that's what it is. And we've got, let's see, Jamila Kemp. She's been on the show too. It Takes Two, Inc. She's a youth-based nonprofit 501c3 that awards scholarships to students living in single-parent homes. See, that's one of those programs or those businesses that was birthed out of what you're going through. Because Jamila Kemp is definitely a single mom. She's raising a son, and he actually has a business. She posted it on here too. He's 13, and it's B as in boy, E, P as in pickle, I, C, B as in boy, savage. And it's, BEPICB, savage.selz.com. It's a clothing line. So check him out. 13 years old. Support young entrepreneurship. We've got Kelsey McKell, and she's got Gabby's Beauty Supply. Let's see, does she give us? Yep, www.gabbyshair.com, and Gabby is with BBY, okay? Then we got Deaf Chef. He is from Seattle. He didn't give me any website information, so let me click on his thing and see if, well, you can call him. Let's see. I think it's 253-486-0825, but he cooks food all the time, and you can just kind of go to where he is. I think he might deliver too. I'm not sure. I haven't eaten with him ever. Let's see here. What else do we have? Of course, today we talked about House of Velda. So go to houseofvelda.com and order up your organic natural deodorant. And then let's see. AishaOrganicSolution.com. So Aisha is spelled AISHAH, organics.solutions. I didn't even know she was my friend, but there you go. We got Philip W. Dunn, A Seat at the Table, LLC. Let's see. When we click on that, let's see, what does it tell us? It's a business and economy website. Let's see, spring cleaning, call one of our participating service providers at A Seat at the Table. Okay, so I think what he does is he provides information on different service providers. Like I see something talking about spring cleaning. So that means that he is like the hub for contracted services. A seat at the table. Cool. All right, and we're going to do a couple more, and then we're going to wrap up this show. We've got enjoysoapworks.com. That looks like it's a soap company. So INJOY soapworks.com. Okay. Let's see. Nevin Wilson has cupcaked candles.com. She's a cupcake company. Ricky Donnell Dimmer. Yeah, I'm not going to hate on these people that don't have websites because I sure don't have my website. I've purchased the name, but I don't even have it yet. So let me not even be critical. But Ricky Donnell Dimmer, R3 Community Services. Not sure what that is, but you go, Ricky. Tana Yasu, she is from Seattle. I know her personally. Black Business Association. She says send email for more information, and thank you. Let's see. J-Man, he has just tagged people. Uncle Joe Tax Services. That's Joe Karuki. So just Google Uncle Joe Tax Services, and you can get that information. Shavana and Roger Johnson, they have All About Us Radio Media Group. I know her too. Let's see. We did that one already. I guess she posted twice. All right. Well, everybody that, okay, Karima Rainmaker Stewart, she does Paycation. So let's see if she has her address on here so I can mention her real quick because I know her personally. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, you can call her. It says 505-913-1196 if you want to learn about Paycation and travel, or if you want to become a Paycation representative. Give Karima a call. We got Kwashanta Ama. Let's see. She has MaeLewanoMotherland.com. MaeLewanoMotherland.com. Don't know what that is, but it sounds interesting. I know she does jewelry. She's a brand ambassador, and she does jewelry at Costco. Like, she shows all this jewelry all around the country. Anyways, people, it has been real nice tonight. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being patient with us. Thank you for sticking with us throughout these times. We so appreciate everything that you're doing, including listening and supporting this network and this station. Join us every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, same time every week, okay? If you want to reach out to us, please do so. We are blacksinbusiness@gmail.com. If you need any help, let us know. Next week, we'll be talking to Queen Thais of Liberated Minds, because that expo is coming up July 14th through the 17th. Or is it the 16th? 17th. 16th. The 16th in Atlanta. So she'll be coming on talking to us about that. I will be in Atlanta. So if you're in Atlanta, please feel free to come over and meet me, because I will be repping 3 products there, because I am a brand ambassador. So join us next week, same time, okay? This has been BIB Radio. Good night.